You have worked hard at building your business. Now it's a time about thinking about selling it. Have you done all the prep work? Do you know what to do to get the most money for it? Do you know how you're going to feel after you sell this business and if you're going to feel the best you can? If you don't, we have all the answers. We'll see you on the other side of the intro. Welcome back to another episode of Playbook of the Wealthy. My name is Dave Grant. My co-host is Heather Townsend. We are talking about how to sell your business, get the most money out of it, and feel great about yourself. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. If you haven't been here and this is your first episode, boy, you're in for a journey. Buckle up. We're here for you. We split our podcast into a number of sections. We talk about content. We answer questions. We talk about ourselves personally. Our first section is all about the content. It's called Let's Dive In. So let's go. Heather, this was designed by you, this episode. You have a lot of the knowledge. Lead us into it. Tell us why we're doing it.
I've been wanting to get this designation for a long time. It's called a Certified Exit Planning Advisor. Because for anyone listening who doesn't know, many of my clients are business owners. This is one area that I would say half of my clients at least are business owners. I see it with me. You probably see it with you, Dave, right? Like a majority of our net worth is in our business, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I don't put it on my net worth statement, and I'm going to share why in a second. But, you know, for my clients, when I look at these very successful business owners, a majority of their net worth is tied up in their business. And one day I was listening, I don't know, to a podcast or something, and I heard that these baby boomers that are trying to sell their businesses right now, that have worked so hard, most of them aren't going to sell. And I was like, whoa. Sirens went off in my head. I was like, that cannot happen to my clients. I spent an entire week studying all about exit planning and taking a very rigorous course. And I can't wait to share with everyone what I learned. And I think it'll be good for both you and I as we have our own businesses. So a few stats that I found interesting is that 80% of most business owners' net worth is locked in their business. That's a lot of untrapped wealth, or trapped wealth, we should say. Mm-hmm. So let's say you have someone who's worth $20 million, but 80% of that is in their business. So what? You have 4 million on the outside and 16 million in a business. Like, I don't know, being worth $20 million in financial freedom is a lot different of a lifestyle than 4. Wouldn't you say, Dave? Like,
especially if you're planning to liquidate the business and you're figuring out what number to use. Are you going to use 16? Like, you're going to get all of that out? And like you're saying, if they're 80% is locked up, are they going to get everything?
Well, and here's the thing too. It's like with anyone. It's like when people try to sell their house. They always think their house is worth more than it is, right? I mean, any real estate agent will say, oh, most clients think that their house is worth more than it is. Same with business owners. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to leave this to chance because only 20 to 30% succeed in transitioning and selling their business.
Okay, what do the rest do? Is close and walk away with nothing? Like, you put your heart, sweat, tears, blood into this thing, and then you walk away with nothing other than the fact that you've earned an income from it. And I know some businesses don't have residual value, but a lot do. And so to just let that evaporate and you don't get any financial benefit from it it's a travesty, Heather, a crime.
Well, so let's talk about it. If we talk about our businesses, I would not place a very high value on my business. And you're going to be like, but Heather, you know my business, you know it's successful. So you're probably looking at me like, why is it not on your net worth? Well,
I also know our industry and the multiples. Like, you have a very valuable business.
Yes. But if I really wanted to make it more valuable, which for my clients who are listening, that's not my goal at this time. But if I was looking to sell it, it is very dependent on me.
Yeah.
It is me. I am the financial planner, the one who operates everything behind the scenes, the one who does the marketing. It is extremely dependent on the owner. And that makes it not very attractive to an outside buyer. Now let's pretend that I was kind of like the CEO in the background that maybe did some strategy or some financial planning for fun, but I had a lot of other financial planners that you were buying as well to service my nice clientele. Do you see how that would become more valuable to an outside buyer?
Is there the flip side to that, though? If you've got a lot of staff, you've got a lot of overhead, so your profit may not be as high. Whereas if you're a solo business owner, we have a lot of profit in our business, which makes it more valuable. So there's definite pros and cons to both.
Yes, there is. I think the financial planning industry is a little different, but like, let's say you're buying, I don't know, a pool service company or if it's entirely reliant on the owner and the owner's going away, are you going to want to buy that business? Because you probably don't want to get in and have to be the owner and have to be operating the business. You want to buy a cash cow, right?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Depending on the intellectual knowledge of the owner, right? Like you said, if you're buying a pool business, you're buying a client book. Anyone can clean a pool, like with some knowledge behind it. If you're buying a patent attorney lawyer's business, you can only sell that to a patent lawyer or a patent law firm. You can't just go in and buy that company.
There are they call them the 4 C's, that they determine how to increase the value of your business. And they made so much sense to me. So I don't like that they call them the 4 C's because none of them start with C, by the way. Okay. But so it's social, customer, human, and structural capital. Those are the 4 C's. It's that they have capital in them that makes them.
Okay. It's going to be like, where's the C's?
Obviously, social is like if you have strong brand, strong culture, right? Like you're very aware in the industry. You have, Townsend Financial and Retirement Matters to the outside have a very good, what's the word that I'm looking for? Reputation,
sure.
right? Like that matters. So you score that on a scale. Customer, if let's say like 50% of your revenue is from one customer, that's a risky business to buy.
Mm-hmm.
You want diversified customers and revenue. Human, so your talent, right? Again, if you're buying a business that's dependent on the owner's about to go away, it's not as valuable if you're also buying great talent, right?
Sure.
And then structural. So are the processes and procedures documented? It's really called like this book. You have a book so that when someone buys this business, it's all organized. It has great systems and processes in place, and you can just pick it up and run with it. And basically, what I'm going to be doing with my clients is we will rate the 4 C's. And what I love is it's a scale of 1 to 6. So you can't pick average. There's no middle.
Okay.
And so you're either below average or above average. And the goal is to get above average in all these categories, because if you're low in these categories, you are less likely to transition your business. It is likely to be less valuable. I'm going to give an example. Tech has like wild multiples. I don't remember what they are.
Sure.
But let's say, we'll define this later, but your earnings, EBITDA, which is many ways that businesses are valued, is, I don't know, $1 million. Mm-hmm. And you could sell it for either, the range of multiples in your industry is 2 to 10x. Are you with me so far? So what is that? That's either it could sell in the low end of 2 or the high end of 10. That
million.
Is 10 million. Is that not material? Like that is I could live a really great life on $10 million in financial freedom. $2 million? No.
I've actually heard that multiple in our industry.
2 to 10?
There has been some sales recently of a RIA, which is a registered investment advisory, going for 6 times multiple, which the average in our industry is 2 to 3. It has been trending upwards, but 6 was based on that company was exploding with growth and it was all natural and they had marketing channels in place. Like you said, if someone left, it wasn't relying on that person. So a company could buy it and it still funneled on those same customers. And
I'm guessing they had talent underneath them, like all the things, right? All those things, probably those boxes were checked. So that's why they sold for a premium. My clients are valuing their businesses at 10 million, 5 million, 20 million, whatever it is. That's what they think they're going to get. Well, what if they don't?
Yeah.
Like that's too big of an opportunity cost for me to risk with them.
How far out do you do this from a business sale? Like, do you do this tomorrow, regardless of where someone is, or do you do that when they're actually planning and talking about selling the business?
You should always be preparing to transition the business at all times. You should have it ready to transition, because what happens that they've seen is, sadly, some businesses have to transition when they're not ready because of either divorce or disability or death. And you don't ever want to be in that position. So you, even if you're not intending to sell it yet, like you and I right now, you want to be putting your business in a position though, so that if it had to, you could transition. I do hope that my business is not as dependent on me at some point in my life. Like I only really want to be showing up for my clients in the really strategic times. That's where I thrive. But in the day-to-day of processing paperwork or, you know, who presses a button on a trade, like that just needs to be done correctly. But the strategy is where I light up. That's where I only want to be. Yeah. And then eventually I want to share that knowledge with someone else. I want to develop someone to be able to do that.
It's an interesting mindset of when you're saying it, your business should be able to transition at any time. Because that's a weird mindset for someone to be in who's actively growing a business thinking, okay, could I sell this tomorrow if I needed to? It's two very different mindsets. And I think it's okay, don't think about selling it. You know, is your business as organized as it should be? Is your accounts receivables in a mess? Like, are you waiting 90 days to get paid, or are you waiting net 10 or net 30? Like, how organized are you? And that's probably a better way to kind of frame it as to, if you're in the hospital tomorrow, could someone come in and buy it? It's not you're looking to sell. It's, are you organized to transition?
Do you know what the number one thing is before you even work on improving the 4 C's is? Which I know you'll like, and it makes perfect sense.
What's that?
Derisking. So that's like making sure you have the proper insurances in place. Do you have a buy-sell agreement in place? Like, are your finances a mess, right? Are your books and like just what you talked about, accounts receivable, are they all over the place? Like, do you have a ton of 1099s that should actually be employees, right? And if someone came in and audited you, you'd be in trouble, right? Like all these things, that's the number one thing you do first. Because that makes your business, if it's a really risky business, someone's not going to want to take on that liability. My husband does that. He gets paid a lot of money to look at huge businesses, state and local tax exposure and M&A, like buying businesses. It goes down into that detail. Now, of course, these are like humongous businesses, but the point is people pay a lot of money for, you know, people to do due diligence in businesses to find the risk, because once you buy it, you're taking on that risk. Yeah.
Yes, that's the procedural thing that you should be doing, and you probably should be doing this from the start, but it gets away from you. That brings in the peace of mind as well. Like once you know things are organized, it's okay. If I'm ready to sell tomorrow, I can do. But now let's put foot on the floor with the gas, with marketing, with growing, because I know everything's organized in the background. We can handle it. Whereas if it's not organized and you start to grow, it could go anywhere. It could implode. It could be disorganized. It could be a horrible experience for the customer, your employees. It could be disastrous.
I think it's good for people to high level know, what is your business worth today? And what money are you leaving on the table by you not being best in class in your business? Like if your multiple is huge in your industry, that should motivate you to get it up, because that can be millions and millions of dollars.
I think there's that knowledge gap too. Like I've worked with some owners who assume that their business is not worth much because they haven't done the research, when they realize their book of business, their client list is actually worth a lot to, you know, a competitor, that they could sell them, and they just haven't done that due diligence. And then it means that there's that trickle-on effect. They're not using that number in their net worth. They're not realizing what that number could be to accelerate their goals. So the knowledge is the power there.
There's also like ways you can sell a business too that, I mean, I could talk about this all day. There's so much that I learned, but like you could either sell to management, you could sell to your employees using an ESOP, You could sell to family members, right? Or you could maybe sell to like a private equity company or a strategic buyer. Like for us, that would be like another financial advisor firm wants to buy our firm, right? To get bigger, right? That would be an example. Typically, if you sell externally, like to a strategic third party, you're going to get a higher multiple. You're going to make more.
Sure.
One of my clients, I was sitting at their dining room table 3 weeks ago. It's getting to that point where they want to grow, but they need something else. They've kind of grown it to the max they can at within the business framework. And it would take them a lot longer to grow at the growth rate that these types of companies can grow.
Okay.
But
can you share what industry it's in?
It's similar to a pool service. Let's say it like that. Okay.
Okay.
Is I was like, well, have you thought about doing a strategic buy? Buying another pool company. You'll get the great employees that are already trained, so you won't be having these employment issues as much. You already buy a bigger book of business. You might learn some other processes like that could greatly improve the value of your business because we'd be growing revenue and clientele and helping with the employment thing. And he was like, well, Heather, I have thought about that, but I just didn't know. It's funny how my clients say that. I didn't think you'd even want to explore that option. And I looked at him like, what? Like, okay. I mean, I think the fact that I brought it up in this way, now he's going out and looking for this other business that's going to grow his value of his business because we're going to grow a bigger EBITDA, a bigger revenue, right? But that also contains the human talent that we need so much and hopefully some other processes. I think that in that conversation alone, the client went from like, oh, how am I going to grow this to what I want, what my wealth gap is, to I am so excited for what this is going to bring, right? Like what an amazing conversation.
And it's surprising how much goes into selling a business. Because this is, yes, it's a big decision, but it's also a long time frame in order to get that sale happen. Even if it's going to be external and it's going to be one person to one person, there's so much back due diligence that has to happen on both sides to make sure that this is the right move and it doesn't implode. And I don't know that people truly get how much work goes into it.
What else is so fascinating is guess the percent of how many business owners regret selling their business.
I think that's high. Seller's remorse is going to be high.
It's 75%.
And that's understandable. Like this is another child for a lot of people. They've grown it from the ground up, or they've bought it and transformed it into something that it wasn't before. And then to just let that go. For men specifically, so much of our identity is built up into that. And I've had to go through letting go of that in my business. That was very difficult. Still is difficult, but so much of our identity is tied up in how successful we've been in that business. And then selling it to someone else to let them run it. And we have no control and no identity to that anymore. You have to do a lot of self-work to get through that.
And I'm in that. Like I came to have that realization that I actually wrap up a lot of my identity in my business. It is like, this is me. This is something I created. It is my child. It is my baby. Like I'm so proud of it. So I get that. And so the other thing that I loved about this was that it really taught like how important it is. That's why like not only is knowing 5 years out that this client wants to sell, right? I have 5 years to get this client to know what the fluff they are going to do once they don't have their business anymore. Because I don't want them in 75% regret. What are you doing? Because in the stories of many business owners that have exited, that, these exit advisors have gone through is, one example was this guy was like, okay, I'm going to sell my business. I can't wait to move to Florida and I'm going to golf and I'm going to, boat all day. Well, after 9 months, he was bored out of his fluffing mind.
Especially as a business owner, there's always something to do. You can't just turn that off.
Not only do you align like the finances together with the business exit plan or the business, but also the personal goals and make sure you have a plan that's going to keep you, happy once you sell and you're ready to sell. Because I'm sure you see it with retirees, like retirees retire and they didn't even create a business sometimes, and they are depressed.
Yeah. Have you got many businesses for your clients where it's family? So, like, could they sell it down to other family members?
I mean, some yes, but some don't want it. And actually, what's interesting is the statistics are like low of that actually going well. But
We've got some studies on this, right? We pulled these out. Let me run through these. So, according to the Conway Center for Family Business, only 30% of family business owners succeed in passing control to the next generation. If you want a good example of this, go watch the TV show Succession. That is a hot mess of a family business transitioning down. And the ending is phenomenal because it doesn't work out the way you think it will. Have you watched that show?
I have, and now I forget the ending.
Oh,
I love
Tom.
how you remember the TV shows. Yeah, okay, keep going.
Well, it's just the ending. I'm also watching another show with this guy in it, so that's why it kind of came to mind.
Okay.
So people who do transition to businesses, an industry where I think this sometimes does work is ours. Because if you are working with your family members or it's your children, you're going to have a very similar skill set in terms of knowledge. You also could be working with the same client. So the transition is actually easier. My first company I worked at was a family transition that worked very well. And it's because you're working with families and you are a family company, that's very natural. And so if you've got a mother and a daughter meeting with a husband and wife, they build a relationship with the mother and the daughter advisors. And it just is that natural transition of, okay, mother's getting older. We'll talk to the daughter more. And she becomes our lead advisor, and then mom transitions out.
To put this in a bow, I hope this made you think about how to make your business more valuable, or where you are showing some risk and what you need to plug in the risk, de-risking. And give some thought to, what is your wealth gap? How much of your wealth is in your business, and how can you take some chips off the table? Is it taking bigger distributions and investing outside of your business? Is it growing it so that you can get the highest multiple? And really aligning your personal goals, your financial goals with your business goals is key.
Nice. Can I add to your bow?
Yeah.
Just a little addendum. If you're a business owner listening, and this is a problem that you have to talk to Heather. This is her wheelhouse. She studies this. She does this day to day. Don't call me, because I'm going to call Heather and say, I have someone for you to talk to. So Heather's your girl. Woman. Sorry.
I don't mind
Advisor.
That. Call me girl. Woman. I don't take it.
Someone took it in the YouTube comments too far. They called you Blondie. I put a line in the sand right there. I'm like,
wow.
No.
You know what I'm going to say back to them? You're so, what's the word? You have eyes. I am. Good job. Wow.
Our next section, we are talking about questions related to this because sometimes people need that clarification. The next segment is called, What Would You Do?
I'm not ready to get a full valuation done on my business just yet. Is there an easy way to calculate what my company might be worth?
Great question, because valuations do cost money.
They do.
I'm going to say you need to be doing research on your industry. So let's talk about the financial advisory industry, because that's what I know. There's a lot of calculators out there where you can go and plug in the metrics of your firm and it'll tell you a rough valuation of your firm. It's not going to require you paying a business valuator to come in and do that. But once you're ready to sell, you'll need that. So knowing your industry, I had a friend who worked for a restoration company, like water restoration, fire restoration. Shocked to learn that it was a 1x multiple of their revenue. There was not much in there. Yeah.
That is really low.
And then companies in our industry that are growing really fast, it can be up to 8 times multiple of your revenue. So you got to do some homework here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Question number 2. I'm assuming taxes will be due on the business sale. You are correct. How can I minimize this?
Oh, man. I didn't even want to go down this rabbit hole. How you can minimize this entirely depends on how you want to transition your business, who you're selling it, what you're selling it. Is it a stock or asset sale? How long do you want to do an installment sale? Do you want to do an ESOP? Is qualified small business? Like, I don't want to like rattle on and bore our poor listeners, but more what I'm trying to get across is like, there is a lot of strategy here, but that's why you have to start with like the end goal of what do you need? What do you want to do? Who are you going to transition it to? And then you come up with the ideal plan based on that, right? Like what's the best strategy for that?
Yep. Give yourself some time.
Yes. Okay.
All right, question number 3. I've been building a business with my partners for the last 20 years and we'll be selling it this year. It's a straight cash sale. There's nothing complicated. My share of the proceeds will be approximately $9 million. What do I do with this money?
You need a plan. If you had a plan and you had the right financial team building up to this, you would already be knowing that answer. So that tells me you don't have the right advisors on your team. You don't have a plan. That answer is already answered for my clients. And if you're about to have $9 million, you need a team in place. I hope you have a CPA. I hope you have a great financial advisor. You need both of those and probably some estate planning too. That's what I will say. Get a plan, know your goals, and then the fun begins and the answer will be made.
I have a little bit different of an answer. This is assuming they have a swimming pool at their house. They're going to drain it. They're going to take their net proceeds in single dollar bills. They're going to fill the swimming pool with dollar bills, and they're going to go Scrooge McDuck swimming in this amount of money. And then they're going to take it and then put it back in the bank.
Okay, Dave.
All right. If you have a question for the show, we're going to break this up a little bit. If you have a question for the show, go to our website, playbookotw.com. You can then find our email there, and you can send us a question for a future episode, and we'll feature it. Thanks. We're going into our last section. It's called Highlights. This is where you get to know about us personally, professionally, whatever we want to share. Heather, ready, set, go.
Okay, wow. Dave, I have started touring schools for my little ones. Like, okay, I was
exciting?
in the It is exciting. I'm actually really excited about it. That's what I was shocked about because it kind of brought back, oh my gosh, like my elementary memories. And like, I don't know if you went through that, maybe not, but when I was going through the schools, I was like, oh my gosh, I remember this when I was a kid, and now my kids are about to go through that, like sitting in the cafeteria and sitting on the bench with their lunch, or like, do you get lunch money from your parents that day and you get to go like get the pizza or whatever, right? Like all these little memories. I mean, they've been in preschool. We're gonna, put them in kindergarten next year. And so we have to start looking at schools. And I actually teared up because I was like, I need to make sure I have enough spaciousness in my life because I want to be the mom that can go on the field trip and, do those kind of things because my mom could not. And so it was a good reminder to get back to my goals. And also just, I'm so excited for this next phase for them. I do have tough decisions though, because I don't know if you know, but Arizona is ranked like one of the worst in the country of schools. Yeah. So I didn't really want to send my kids to private. But I might be in a position where this is something I really have to think about. There's also charter schools, which is kind of the in-between of private to public. So I got some big decisions ahead of me. I'll let you know where I end on. But really just, I can't believe I'm in this phase of I'm about my kids next year are going to school. Like I'm going to be in the car picking up the kids from school. Like it's crazy. That's all.
Crazy's a word for the school run. You got to learn what crazy is and what crazy parents there are.
Oh, what do you mean by that? What? People like try to run you over in the line or something? What? The pickup line? What am I missing here?
Viewers, leave a comment about what your pickup line stories are when you picked up your kids from school. Because I got some. Yep.
I can't wait to
but
hear
I want to hear
these.
if mine are. Yeah, I want to hear if mine are abnormal or not.
Oh, I can't wait.
But
okay.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because we're touring colleges in the spring, so we're both going on the same journey, just a little different. All right, my highlight. I actually took the longest break from work that I've ever done in my career. I took 2 weeks and tried to be disconnected the whole time. It lasted a day because my email broke and it started sending bounce backs, like my email was down, and so people started calling saying, "Are you good? Like, you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." But then I had to monitor my email the whole time. But still, I didn't do any work for. It was probably 2 weeks. I didn't sit down at my desk and do extended periods of work. It was mixed emotions. Like, I realized I really enjoy my job. Like, it's phenomenal. But then I also realized there's a period of, specifically the fall, when I get to the end of it, I'm burned out and I'm not at my best. So I have to step away. But knowing that I control everything in my sphere of work, it doesn't take long to recharge from that. So it's nice to be back.
Important.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Playbook of the Wealthy. You can find us on whichever platform you listen to podcasts. If you want to watch us in video format, we are on YouTube, LinkedIn, Spotify, Instagram. If you want to send an email to the show, head to our website, playbookotw.com. You'll find our email there. Jordan's coming up. He's been waiting for this moment. So give him his time, and he'll fill you in on some important information. But until next time, stay safe.
Toodles.
All opinions expressed by Dave Grant and Heather Townsend are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the views of their respective wealth management firms. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Nothing in this material constitutes a solicitation for the sale or purchase of any securities. Clients of Retirement Matters and Townsend Financial may maintain positions in the securities discussed in this podcast.